You know the saying, the grass is always greener? The problem with it is that you compare your grass to their grass that you see on social media. But for all we know, their grass may not even be that green. They just slammed a filter on it. Actually, they may not even have a lawn. Yet here you are, questioning your gardening skills. Hi, I'm Daria, a 33-year-old corporate dropout, and for years the internet convinced me that my life sucks. I've been asking myself, why is it so hard to be happy these days? Why does everyone online seem to be doing better than me? And will I ever feel like I'm good enough? If you can relate, what if I told you that these feelings are not your fault, that they are being engineered? In this video, we'll expose the psychological traps that the internet uses to profit from our unhappiness. And I'll share some steps that I'm taking to get off that hamster wheel of dissatisfaction, because understanding the game is the first step to winning it. And by the way, this video is part of a series that I made to question the narratives that make us miserable, so subscribe if you'd like to follow along. Earlier this year, I was in Spain, and I was bombarded with YouTube videos, news headlines saying how life in Spain got tougher, how there are fewer jobs, and crime is on the rise. Immediately, I thought, well, I really like it here, but maybe it wouldn't be the best idea to live here right now. But then, the moment I landed in the UK and opened my phone, the first thing that I saw was a podcast episode, Why is everyone leaving the UK right now? And then another one, all telling me that I should pack my bags and move to Australia, Dubai, or somewhere else. It's not hard to get the impression that the internet is set on making me miserable and convincing me that moving across the world will fix all my problems. And I know there is a big chance that you are now watching this on the other side of the world and you are told the exact same thing. Why are they so keen on keeping us dissatisfied? What's at stake here? The internet plays with our emotions, especially negative ones, because it sells. We all have bad days, things we don't like about ourselves or problems. It's normal. It's very easy to blame our unhappiness on one thing, such as bad weather or messed up politics. And it's also very tempting to believe that one thing can fix all of our problems, like moving to a new country or buying a specific product. How many times did I tell you, oh, let's move somewhere and our life will be amazing?
Every week.
Yeah.
Not every day.
This is why so many brands, media companies, and even influencers want us to feel bad about ourselves, because it helps them pitch to us a solution to a problem that we did not even know we have. And even if you don't buy anything, painting that dark picture of our lives gets clicks, because fee generates attention, and attention online means revenue.
Probably a good time to announce your next course. Selling right now with my promo code.
There's no course. So what I started doing was, first of all, to acknowledge the game. Negativity sells, it serves a commercial purpose, and I'm trying to cultivate a healthy dose of skepticism. Before I click, before I buy, before I compare, I ask myself, who benefits from me feeling bad about myself right now? And this magic solution, this missing element that they say will help us feel whole and happy again, well, if it sounds too good to be true, it's because it probably is. When I got a job at Google, I was the happiest person on the planet. I thought, this is it, I've made it. For the first months, I could not believe how much food I saw around me in the office. Kitchen full of snacks, canteen serving 2 meals per day. I was amazed, and also I gained a lot of weight. And then after a while, the excitement was gone. It just became normal. I stopped noticing it, I stopped appreciating it, and so did my colleagues. I even heard some people complain about how the snacks were not diverse enough. It made me think of all these times in my life that I got something or to somewhere that I wanted, only to think after a while, okay, what's next? And much as I think it's important to be ambitious and to keep raising the bar, I also wish that I could appreciate more where I am right now. And also sometimes I ask myself, when will I be able to say, this is enough, I can be happy now? We work hard towards something, we get it, and then we get used to it. It's something psychologists call hedonistic adaptation. Basically what it does, it allows us to go back to a relatively stable level of happiness after major positive and negative life events. It serves a clear evolutionary purpose, because if we became permanently happy with where we are in life, we would stop striving for a better future and we wouldn't progress much as a humanity.
It's interesting that it works both ways.
Yeah. both positive and negative. But the problem is, technology makes it very easy to move on to that next thing. Like, I don't even need to think what my next thing is because the internet will give me countless suggestions. Social comparison is no longer me versus my neighbor like back in the day.
Like in Borat. I get a glass window, he get a glass window. I get a radio,
You cannot
he
afford.
cannot afford.
Now, social comparison is global thanks to social media, and often it's based on some fake polished image. To give you an idea, I saw that there is a company that rents mock-ups of private planes to influencers so that they can pay to take a photo in a fake plane. Crazy. All this fuels something called lifestyle inflation. We increase our spending as our income increases. So let's say you get a raise, you start spending more money, and it makes you happy. But then you get used to it. What was once a luxury is now normal, and you need to level up your spending to get the same feeling of happiness.
Like a takeaway coffee.
Yeah, like maybe back in the day it was a treat, but once you start drinking it regularly, it's just coffee. It's obviously very dangerous from a financial perspective because lifestyle inflation quickly soaks up the money that you could use for whatever else, like going on holiday or saving up for the future. But also it steals joy because nothing feels good enough for long enough. I found one simple thing works for me well, and that's intentionally choosing to deflate my lifestyle, especially by giving up something that I started taking for granted. So maybe it's taking a pause on takeaway food, or maybe it's no longer buying a comfort item, or maybe it's taking a camping trip with few amenities. Cadel and I love taking a good no electricity trip every now and then.
Yeah, did it once?
At least twice. And it was with one of those bathrooms that you have outside. And I can't tell you how good it feels to, after a while, no longer have to go in the middle of the night with a torch to the bathroom in the middle of the field. It's kind of like remembering how to appreciate something by choosing to miss it for a while and resetting my happiness baseline. Never take tea for granted. Ever. So important. I genuinely believe that if you can't appreciate the small things, the big things will never make a difference. I had to learn that the hard way. After I left my big corporate job, I felt like a failure. The internet showed me other people launching businesses, traveling the world, and I was just recovering, I guess. I started a small gratitude practice, almost out of desperation, did not think much of it at first. Every morning, I would write down 3 tiny things I was grateful for. The taste of my coffee, the quiet of the house before the world wakes up, a text from a friend. It felt silly at first, pointless, but slowly, week after week, I realized I was retraining my brain. I was teaching it to find the green grass right under my own feet, not on somebody else's screen. Could gratitude be more than just another wellness buzzword? Is there actual science behind it? Gratitude is not just a pleasant feeling. If we practice gratitude regularly, we strengthen neural pathways in our prefrontal cortex, which is the region of the brain that helps us manage negative emotions and stress. So we are literally building a more resilient brain. Also, we boost neurotransmitters that make us happy, so serotonin, dopamine. We end up feeling happier and more connected to others, which helps our physical and mental health. I remember when I started practicing gratitude, I thought, well, this is really boring because you have to sit and think about things that you are grateful for in your life or make a list. But actually, it doesn't have to be passive and it doesn't have to be all about you. Now my favorite acts of gratitude are writing a thank you letter or just a letter or a card to somebody that I feel deserves it. I think we all know somebody who deserves more kindness and appreciation than life offered them. You can also write a post-it note and leave it on a desk of a colleague that you like, or cook a celebratory dinner for a friend. There's many ways.
What is the friend celebrating?
Anything, or just being in your life. Studies show that couples who regularly express gratitude towards one another have more trusting, loving, long-term relationships.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
You're welcome. And I think it leads us to the most important part, the thing that truly counters the toxicity of social media. So much of the online world is built on this individualistic me versus them logic, my life versus their life, my success versus their success. It isolates us. Gratitude goes against that. When we start genuinely appreciating what we have, we stop focusing on what we lack. And when we stop being so obsessed with what we lack, We have the mental capacity to look around, see other people, to have empathy, to sometimes go from me to we, and maybe to realize that at the end of the day, we are all just here doing our best. We've established that our brains get used to good things and that the internet is designed to constantly dangle the next good thing in front of us like a carrot on a stick that will never catch no matter how fast we run. This creates a dangerous loop. We scroll, we see, we compare, we desire. It's a pattern, and for many of us it's running on autopilot 24/7, so how do we break it? We can't just quit at the modern world. Most of us can't afford not to have a phone and not to use the internet. But there's good news. We don't need a massive life overhaul, we just need to learn how to use a pattern interrupt technique. A single conscious choice can snap you out of that autopilot mode. It forces you to stop and think, which gives you the freedom to break out of old habits. There are 3 specific practices that completely changed the game for me. First, there's this what I own game. You know how it goes. You see something online, you linger for just a second, but the internet knows you attempted, and it will keep showing you that thing until you finally break and buy it. So what I started doing is, before I allow myself to buy something new, I have to go and find 3 items that I already own that serve the same or similar purpose. So before I buy a new dress, I go to my wardrobe, I find 3 different dresses, I look at them and remember why I bought these in the first place. And 9 out of 10 times, I don't need a new dress. Surprise, surprise.
So if you do find another reason, or like if you feel like it serves a different purpose, then you would go ahead and buy it?
Like if I needed, let's say, hiking boots and I don't have any hiking boots, maybe I would buy them. It's like to really differentiate actual need versus consumerist desire that was just, fed to me by advertising.
Yeah.
Another rule that I made up for myself is about balancing passive and active forms of rest and entertainment. Yes, I still scroll my phone and I still watch shows, but I try to keep it balanced with activity-based forms of rest. So if last night we spent it watching movies, today I will want to read a book, cook something, do my coloring pages, something that involves more senses. There was definitely a time in my life that I did like 90% passive forms of entertainment and rest because that's all I had the energy for. But then I noticed something terrible. I noticed how this passive attitude spreads to other areas of my life. I became a more passive person and I didn't like that. So including more activities in my life reminds me that I like doing things and I have the power to create and do things and not just buy and consume. And finally, I created phone-free zones and phone-free times. Our phones are the main sources of dissatisfaction and anxiety, and I couldn't get rid of them, so I tried to limit their presence in my life. So my bedroom is a no phone zone. That's so hard to say. No phone zone. By taking my phone out of my hand's reach, I interrupted this most debilitating pattern where I reach for my phone when I'm bored. Also, right after I wake up and before I go to bed, that's a no phone time. And now the first 20-30 minutes of my day, that's time for myself, for reflection, for some tea or coffee, for looking out of the window, but not for comparison and feeling anxious. It sounds very simple, but it really helps me feel better. These pattern interrupts aren't about punishment, but they are tiny acts of defiance. They are about creating tiny pockets of presence and gratitude in a world that benefits from us being distracted and sad. The internet convinced me that my life sucked, but the antidote wasn't to move to a sunny country or to get a better job. It was choosing to see the good that was already there and about realizing that the game is rigged to make me feel like I'm losing. And the only way to win is to stop playing altogether. The goal isn't to have a perfect lawn to show off online, it's to learn how to appreciate the one we are standing on. Because maybe the grass isn't always greener, but maybe it's just green enough. And that's a beautiful thing.